Chairs No Waiting, episode number 659, the eBullet, November 2021. Two Chairs No Waiting is brought to you each week by the folks over at weaversdepartmentstore.com. Drop by over at Weavers. It's getting close to Christmas time. Head over there and check it out. You can get the Mayberry Effect DVD. Great documentary by Chris Hudson. I think you'll enjoy it. And make it a double feature and head and get the Mayberry Man DVD as well. And if you don't have a DVD player, both of those are available for streaming. And there's plenty of other stuff over at Weavers, so go check it out at weaversdepartmentstore.com. Two Chairs No Waiting is also brought to you by donations from listeners like you. The executive producer of episode number 659 is Sarah Blaine, Miss Mayberry. Happy birthday. It was her birthday this, I believe, past week. So happy birthday, Sarah, and thanks for helping support the podcast. And thank you for being here with me as well. We're going to be going into the eBullet, as I said at the start, talking about the stuff that Jim Clark, who worked so hard to put together the Andy Griffith Show Rerun Watchers Club official newsletter, the eBullet, every other month. It's a great thing, and you can get it yourself for absolutely free if you head over to the link that's in our show notes, or if you just go to imayberry.com and click the eBullet link there, there's a subscribe via email or via, I don't know. And you can put in your email address right there and you'll get notified every time a brand new issue of the eBullet comes out. So this is the November 2021 edition that we're going to be going through. Let me get us a little bit of background music to make this fun. Let's see what I want to do. Yeah, we'll do that one. A little bit of upbeat music. So thanks to the VW boys for providing the music for our background music. And let's go and check out the eBullet. This is issue number 6 of volume 21 of the eBullet. This was, again, this is the November issue. It's just hot off the press last week. And so let's get to it. Welcome to the November edition of the eBullet, our final edition for 2021. It's been a roller coaster of both joyful and enormously sad times in Mayberry since our September issue. Just 3 weeks after the wonderful Mayberry Days festival in September, there, along with the publication of 2 fascinating memoirs related to Mayberry and the recent release of Mayberry Man, the movie, as well as the Mayberry Effect, the Mayberry world was rocked by the death of everybody's beloved Betty Lynn on October the 16th. There likely has never been anybody from the Andy Griffith Show cast and crew who has been more engaging or more long-standing or had a more long-standing rapport with fans than Betty did. She genuinely loved the fans and actually getting to know folks. And proof was in her incredible ability to remember not only faces, but names and details about people she met over a period of more than 3 decades of participating with Mayberry events. How did Betty do it? In a nutshell, it was because she really cared. Betty was a true people person. Betty would see something in a store or a shopping channel and think that'd make a nice gift for a friend or for somebody's child or their grandchild. She would just buy it and send it to them. No special occasion was necessary. It was not rare for Betty. It was a regular thing. Thoughtful cards, calls, notes were also part of Betty's currency of friendship. Betty probably single-handedly kept C's Candles in business. You're welcome, Warren Buffett. She loved candles from California-based C's, and especially after moving to North Carolina, she regularly sent boxes of those flavored California treats to friends. If you're a florist, Betty was also potentially one of your best customers. Betty was simply filled with love, kindness, and generosity. She truly spread sunshine along life's way. All of Mayberry mourns the passing of this talented actor who gave us Thelma Lou. We thankfully can continue to enjoy Betty's marvelous performances on The Andy Griffith Show and in other works. But beyond Thelma Lou, all who were fortunate enough to be able to meet Betty and perhaps to get to know her realize that they were truly blessed to spend any amount of time with such a special person. While things are a whole lot sadder on earth, it's safe to bet that things just got a whole lot sweeter in heaven with the arrival of one of the sweetest souls of all times. So the Andy Griffith Show Rerun Archers Club has published a special edition tribute to Betty Lynn, and a link will be in our podcast show notes for this, which can be found right here. If you go to the eBullet itself, the link is in the eBullet. And there's also tributes in this issue of the eBullet to associate producer Jay Sandrich, who passed away the week of Mayberry Days, and Jan Shutan, I'm sure I'm not saying her name right, who passed away October 7th. A side note, Randy Turner's This Week in Mayberry History is a part 2 about Jan, so we'll hear about her later on in the podcast. Amid the happy reflections about Betty Lynn and her remarkable life during this season of Thanksgiving, we'll carry on with our report of the many happenings around Mayberry. And we'll begin with some upcoming events. So, in the eBullet, if you don't get it, remember, you can get it for free. You can check out Floyd's Barbershop Bulletin Board and event calendar. That's where you get information about all the different Mayberry events that are occurring around the country that we're aware of. And you can also check out, if you're in between issues of the eBullet, you can check the imayberry.com, go to the event calendar, and you'll get the same information. Thanks to Jim Clark for all the work he does on that. So we've got some fun things coming up here in November. November 26th, Roland White and his band will be performing at 9 o'clock at Station Inn in Nashville, Tennessee. And he's going to be doing it again on December the 18th. Both nights at 9 o'clock at Station Inn. You can check that out if you're in Nashville, Tennessee, and you'd like to go see Roland. He was one of the country boys who was there in Floyd's Barbershop. A great guy that came to Mayberry Days a few years ago, and I got to work with him. Great person. So we head on over into 2022 because that's really the only thing left this year, other than some showings of the Mayberry Man movie that are coming up in the next few weeks. There's one in Scottsburg, Indiana. It's coming up the 21st of November. And then there's one in Huntsville, Madison, Alabama, that's coming up the 11th of December. And so information, if you're looking for information like that, it's on Facebook, or if you just contact me, I'll be glad to give you all the information about it, about both of those events. Coming up in 2022, March 3rd through the 5th will be the 25th annual George Lindsay UNA Film Festival in Florence, Alabama. Film submissions are being accepted right now. For more information, you can visit either lindsayfilmfest.com or the festival's page that's called filmfreeway.com. Both have information, and the schedule and list of guests that might be there is yet to be determined. On March 15th, Ron Howard and Clint Howard will talk about their memoirs and their careers in show business at the Desert Town Hall Lecture Series in Indian Wells, California. For more information about that, if you go to the eBullet, you can get the phone number, but you can just call them. The number is 760-610-2852. And you can just rewind this if you need to hear that again. I'm a little dyslexic, and I might very well read the numbers wrong. Coming up on September the 19th through the 25th will be the 33rd annual Mayberry Days Festival in Mount Airy, North Carolina. The tickets are already on sale, so you can go and check those out. And events include the Emmett Golf Tournament, the Mayberry Days Dinner and Entertainment. You can get both of those together, or you can purchase the dinner and the entertainment separately. There's going to be a concert by the Dillards featuring Rodney Dillard, and of course Professor Brower's lecture, and I'm sure there'll be Colonel Tim's and other events that'll be coming up at Mayberry Days coming up next year. And in October of next year, October 23rd through the 29th, Clint Howard will be the special guest for Mayberry Cruise number 15. Now, this is a cruise that's been postponed twice. The last 2 years we had to postpone it from the original date in 2020 and 2021. But luckily we got it scheduled again for 2022. So hopefully you'll be able to go with us. It should be a great time. The cruise will be aboard Carnival's ship called Horizon. It's going to leave out of Miami and travel to the Caribbean with ports of call in Grand Cayman and Cozumel and some other places. It starts at about $625 a person, and it's a great time. I think it's 5 days. I'm not sure if it's 5 or 7 this time. It's a long cruise, so go and check it out. Information about that is in the event calendar on imayberry.com or right here in the calendar on the eBullet. So go and check that out. All right, so we have some news of cast and crew. Jim Clark does such a great job putting this together. But here in the eBullet, we have news of cast and crew. You may have heard of these poor folks. They're barely getting by. Ron Howard and his brother Clint Howard have both, as usual, several film projects in various stages of production. Ron is in post-production on 13 Lives, a film he is directing about 2018's dramatic cave rescue in Thailand. And he's executive producer of numerous films and television series that are underway. Now, Clint has a good part in The Old Way, an upcoming Western starring Nicolas Cage, with weapons armoring being by the same now tragically notorious armorer of Rust, by the way. And Clint cleans up as a theater janitor in a movie, it's called Playing with Beethoven, which will be released the day after Thanksgiving. But for this issue, we'll stick with some big news of the season. The release in October the 12th of Ron and Clint's much anticipated book, The Boys, a memoir of a Hollywood and family. And I'll tell you right now, going off script here a little bit, I read the book. It is amazing. You fans, you're gonna love this. You're gonna love it. So go and check it out. Get back to the eBullet. The book was an instant smash, national bestseller. You can buy it at Weaver's, by the way. It has received overwhelmingly positive news coverage and reviews coast to coast. Major publications such as the New York Times, the Wall Street Journal, the Los Angeles Times, Entertainment Weekly, and Parade, as well as magazines and countless regional and local newspapers, including Tulsa World, have given the book enormous and glowing coverage. Ditto for television news outlets included Today, Late Night with Seth Meyers, and social media. The initial book tour by the brothers included stops in New York, Chicago, LA. The duo made appearances on NPR's Wait, Don't Tell Me in October. Ron is making some media appearances in London and elsewhere overseas this month. It'll eventually be time to get back to making films for both the Howard boys, but for the next few weeks, it's time to promote reading and listening to a wonderful and momentous book. The Weaver's Department Store is honored to be partnering with Maggie Peterson and her family for fundraising involving Maggie's memorabilia. So if you head over to Weaver's Department Store and there is a Maggie Peterson collection section, you can go and check that out. That is definitely something you want to do. It helps out Maggie, and it's just something I think you'd enjoy. During the Mayberry Days proclamation, the mayor's proclamation, there was a presentation done of Maggie Peterson Mancuso's Charlene Darlin outfit that she wore to so many of the Mayberry events, and that was donated to the Andy Griffith Museum, and so it'll be there for folks to be able to see in the future. Matter of fact, there are already several other Maggie items already there on display, but it'll be there with them. So thanks to everybody that was able to help pull that together and get that for the museum. That was really nice. All right, several Andy Griffith Show actors and their families were able to attend Mayberry Days this year. For the record, here's a complete list of the Andy Griffith Show stars or family representatives who attended this year. Betty Lynn, Thelma Lou, Rodney Dillard, the Darling Boys, obviously, the guitar player. Dennis Rush, he was Howie, Opie's friend. Joy Ellison was Effie Muggins, Mary Wiggins, and, 3 others. Clint Howard was there. He was Leon on the Andy Griffith Show. Ronnie Shell, 2 episodes of the Andy Griffith Show, as well as Duke Slater on Gomer Pyle, USMC. Margaret Carey was there. She played Bess Muggins and Helen Scobie. Leroy Mac McNeese. He was the Drobo playing member of the Country Boys in 2 episodes. Dreama Denver. She's the widow of Bob Denver, who played Dud Wash in 1 episode. And Karen Knotts, the daughter of Don. They all attended Mayberry Days. Another family member of the Andy Griffith Show cast attended, but remained incognito as Mount Pilot fun girl Skippy. Yeah, we won't say who that was. But it's great to have all of them with us at Mayberry Days. Calvin Peeler played Martin in an episode of Mayberry RFD. Laura Hagen, the widow of Earl Hagen, and Bettina Link, the widow of associate producer of the Andy Griffith Show, Richard O. Link, who is also the personal manager of several of the Andy Griffith Show cast members. All of them had planned to attend, but unfortunately all 3 had to cancel because of scheduling conflicts or pandemic-related concerns. Adopted Mayberry star Dick Atkins, producer of Murder in Coweta County, starring Andy Griffith, was also a special guest this year. And Stark Hal and Court Hal, the sons of Hoke, who played Dud Wash on 2 episodes, were also in Mount Airy during Mayberry Days, as was Greg Shell, the son of Ronnie. But they were kept busy with a full slate of separate activities centered around Mount Airy premiere of the Mayberry Man movie. So there was a Mayberry Man mini gallery, if you'd like to go check that out, here in the eBullet as well. That's got pictures of the family and the folks that were there. So definitely something you would enjoy checking out if you get a chance to look through the eBullet. Rodney Dillard and his Dillard Band had several gigs after Mayberry Days, including October gigs in Tennessee and North Carolina. Margaret Carey greeted fans at the Fanboy Expo in Knoxville, Tennessee on October the 30th. Afterwards, she and her husband Bob were able to join members of the Andy Griffith Show Rewatchers Club Mayberry chapter based out of Knoxville for dinner. I had a great time. I heard a great report from folks that were there. In addition to his duties as executive director of Ballet Magnificat, I'm sure I don't say that right, the Christian dance company that he and his wife Kathy founded, Keith Thibodeau, Johnny Paul Jason, has been touring with David and the Giants, the legendary Christian rock band that has reunited and been touring again. The tour this fall has included dates in Mississippi and Texas. That's really cool, Keith. Because of the pandemic, the George Lindsay UNA Film Festival went virtual this year with online screenings in late October. The festival, whose hallmark is in-person interaction among filmmakers, plans to return to being an in-person event in Florence, Alabama in March for its 25th annual edition. And that's a wrap for Cast and Crew. So, folks, there is information in here about, as we mentioned earlier, the passing of Jay Sandrich. He was a part of the Andy Griffith Show. You definitely want to check that out. He served as associate producer for the 5th season, along with Bob Ross, or who taking over along with Bob Ross for some of the day-to-day duties of Aaron Rubin. Definitely go and check this out. There's a great write-up that Jim Clark did in the eBullet. I'm not going to try to read it all. It's a great, great write-up, something you're going to want to check out if you're a fan of the Andy Griffith Show and just learn more about some of these people that made the Andy Griffith Show come to life for us all. And there's also information in here about Jan Shutan. I never say her name right either. Randy will fix it in a minute. So I'm not going to go through hers either, but there's a great write-up in here about her. Randy Turner last week and this week have done reports about her and given us information about her career. So we'll let him tell that part of the story. Folks, there's also information about the Mayberry Effect director, Chris Hudson's documentary, a labor of love about the influences of Mayberry on our lives. It had its Mount Airy premiere and multiple screenings at the Earl Theater during Mayberry days. The film is a great way to spend an hour and a half immersed in Mayberry. It's available for order at Weaver's on DVD, and definitely something you'd want to check out. After earlier premieres in Indiana and California on the East Coast, the premiere was in Mount Airy during the week of Mayberry days for Mayberry Man. We just had all kinds of fun going on with all this stuff, guys. It's been a lot of fun getting to be a part of the different audiences and stuff. Mayberry Man movie was written and directed by Stark Howell and produced by Court Howell, both sons of Hoke, as we mentioned earlier, and co-produced by Greg Shell, son of Ronnie. And it's been in theaters throughout the Southeast mostly, but up into Michigan and some other locations. It's been in the Midwest. So it's been a lot of fun. They're making for Canada right now. Reviews of the movies, which feature many familiar faces, especially Mayberry tribute artists, have been positive and have stressed that Mayberry Man is a good, wholesome movie that families can enjoy together. Taken together, the Mayberry Effect and Mayberry Man would make a superb combo for any Mayberry fan. So go and check that out. Hey, and keep in mind, there's some special news you may not have heard, but the complete series of the Andy Griffith Show is going to be made available on Blu-ray for the first time. The release is coming out December 7th. So Weaver's is in hot pursuit of being able to get those DVDs to have them here at Weaver's. The Blu-ray set will have a 32-disc collection and provide 6,343 minutes of Mayberry to watch. So definitely be looking for that. It's something you might want to check out. So there's some really, really cool stuff in there. So there's a great gallery of things going on at Mayberry Days that definitely would want you to check out. I had a lot of fun. This is Alan going off script from the eBullet. Had a lot of fun meeting T. Graham Brown during Mayberry Days, a huge Mayberry fan. And I told him, I said, I know you're famous, famous and everything. He said, oh, I'm not famous. I said, no, you're famous. I said, but I like you because you're a Mayberry guy. He can quote lines. I don't know that I can hang with him. I think he wins. Great fun to get to be around him during Mayberry Days. And of course, Rodney Dillard was there with the Dillard Band. Great fun always with them. All the tribute artists showed up. And we just had a big time, folks. I hope you get to try to make plans and try to attend Mayberry Days in the future. It's always a lot of fun. We have one new chapter to report. Since we started the Rerun Watchers Club, there's a total now of 1,475 chapters since the founding of the Rerun Watchers Club back in 1979. The newest chapter is the class reunion in Tyler, Texas. So welcome. A big Mayberry welcome to our newest TAGSRWC outpost there in Texas. It's great to have you. Folks, there's so much more information in here, including information about merchandise at Weaver's. I do want to say, I definitely recommend the book, The Boys, the memoir of Hollywood and Family by Ron Howard and Clint Howard. It was a great book. I loved it. Okay, so you can either buy the book, you can get it at Weaver's, and there's also an audio version of the book that you can get. And if you get it, it's actually Ron and Clint reading the book to you. So that's pretty awesome too. So you won't go wrong no matter which way you get this. Great book. I learned a lot about the Howard family, and wow, Rance Howard and Jean were some great parents. It was great. So they did a great job. And I really do appreciate them writing the book. Now, I have not read Tied Up in Knots yet. Karen, I'm sorry. I haven't read it yet. I got to be honest. I listened to Ron and Clint's book because I listen to books. So I'm hoping I can. I don't know if Karen's done an audio book yet, but if she does, I'll definitely get it. But this is a good book too. Jan's read it, the Tied Up in Knots. She really enjoyed that book with Karen. Definitely something, if you like reading, something you want to get. And you might want to check out and hurry and get the 2022 Andy Griffith Show wall calendar from Weaver's, because they are selling out quick. All right. So there's I'm just scrolling through here and seeing things. It's like, oh, yes, this is good too. This is good too. So go and check out the eBullet. There's all kinds of information in there about new things that are coming up and everything. So let me hit these and then we'll get out of here. Oh, this is really, I'm running long. Okay, chapter news. As is often the case this time of year, much of the recent news of chapters centers around Mount Airy and the annual Mayberry Days Festival. In addition to Mayberry Days, the gallery that's in this episode that you can look at, or this edition of the eBullet, we have a report below on some of the awards presented at the festivals. But first, here's a few photos that they have in here. So I got photos of the folks at the Mayberry chapter in Knoxville gathered with Leroy McNeese. They had a good time there. We got the members, some members of the Mayberry Card Guild subgroup of the Blood Brothers chapter in Macon, Missouri. Got those. We got some folks there that took their pictures. Cody Sloan and Thomas Allison of the You Were on a Date, You Weren't Taking Medicine chapter of Piedmont, South Carolina. They basked in the glory of the Andy Griffith Show Playhouse at Mayberry Days. They got a nice mural on the wall where they got their picture made in front of. There's all kinds of other stuff in here. I'm not going to hit them all. We got reports from Barney's Front Porch Cider Sippers and Car Counters chapter from Jonesboro, Tennessee. We got the Lots of Luck to You and Your chapter in Macon, Georgia. Gave us some information as well. Lots of really cool stuff in here. Reports from Mayberry Days. Folks, you're going to just have to head over to the eBullet and check it out yourself because, wow, there's a lot of information in here that you'll want to catch up on. And I'm not going to read all the awards. I will say this, though. Jan Newsom got an award this year. It was to both of us, but I'm giving her credits. It was called the Leaders of the Pack Award, and I'm proud of her. So she got it because she runs Weavers, does a lot of hard work, and I just talk. That's all I do. So thanks to everybody that presented the different awards we got throughout the year. Great stuff going on. And folks, again, there is so much more information in there. I cannot cover it all. I need you to go and cover it. Wow. So thanks so much to everybody. And thanks for Jim for putting it together. All right. So we need to go hear from this week in Mayberry History.
Welcome to This Week in Mayberry History, a report by Special Correspondent Randy Turner of the Gomer and Cooper Pyle Comic Book Literary Guild of the Mayberry Historical Society.
As we discussed last week, the beautiful Jan Shutan, who played Gloria in the 5th season episode Guest in the House, recently passed away. Her performance as Gloria was only her 7th role. She's known for others, but people at that time might have recognized her in another way that involved television, but not acting in series. Jan came from a wealthy family, but that didn't mean she didn't have to work to establish herself. To supplement her income as an actor, appearing in guest shots in TV series and the occasional made-for-television movie, Jan worked extensively in commercials. She appeared in dozens of them, sometimes earning up to $10,000 per spot. She started in TV ads for Terryton cigarettes. Hey, it was a different time, and was soon sought after to hawk, in her own words, anything from cars to soap suds. Of course, this type of acting may have been lucrative, but it's not what Jan is best remembered for. After Jan appeared in the TV movie Barnaby, which we discussed last week, she returned to Ben Casey, a series she had already appeared in twice. But in 1966, she appeared at least twice as the recurring character Joni Kramer. She appeared a third time as, according to the not always reliable IMDb, a character named Joni Shutan. Though my guess is this was the same recurring character, and Jan's real last name somehow was used instead of the character's last name. That same year, she appeared in a half-hour pilot that was aired as a TV movie of sorts, if you can call a half-hour show a TV movie, called Man in the Square Suit, but the series did not get picked up. Hoping to piggyback off the popularity of the Camp Batman series that debuted in 1966, a hoped-for series based on Dick Tracy was rushed into production. In 1967, Jan appeared as police officer Liz in the pilot, which did not get picked up, though it did air as a quote-unquote TV movie as well, though it was also just a half hour long. Perhaps frustrated with these two failed series possibilities, Jan did not return to the screen until 1969. That year, she appeared in two vehicles, one of which resulted in her longest stint as a recurring character, and another that is well known but was actually a disappointment for her in some ways. The recurring character was in the popular drama comedy Room 222, where Jan first appeared as Bonnie, the school secretary. She played the role 7 more times before leaving the series in 1970 at the end of the first season, though the show continued to air until 1974. Certainly her performance in the Andy Griffith Show was one of her better-known roles, thanks to Mayberry fandom, but her other 1969 role may be her best known. Jan played Lieutenant Mira Romaine during the third and final season of the original Star Trek, in an episode titled The Lights of Zator. Star Trek fans don't consider the episode one of the strongest of the series, but do appreciate the storyline of Scotty falling in love with Mira. So why was Jan disappointed? Well, first, she was a bit embarrassed by the skimpy outfit that all the Star Trek female crew members wore. And second, she had hoped the role might develop into a recurring role as Scotty's girlfriend. It did not. During the first half of the 1970s, Jan appeared in 2 more TV movies and did guest shots in series such as Nanny and the Professor, Night Gallery, and Love American Style. In 1974, Jan appeared in a TV movie, Love Is Not Forever, which served as a series pilot. This time, the series was picked up, giving Jan her only role as a series regular in the drama Sons and Daughters. Only 9 episodes aired, yet another disappointment for Jan. During part of the series, she could only be filmed from the waist up as she had broken her foot. To make matters worse, she separated from her husband during the show, which soon led to a divorce. However, the series did lead to one joyful result for Jan. The Emmy Award-winning producer and writer of the series, David Levinson, saw that Jan was upset at some point, and she confided her problems to him. They soon became a couple. Throughout the remainder of the 1970s, Jan appeared as a guest star in roughly 1 TV series per year, including 2 appearances as different characters in Quincy M.E. Jan also made her only appearance in a film, playing the wife of a descendant of Dracula in the 1977 horror movie Dracula's Dog. As one might guess from the title, the critics were not kind. In 1980, after having seen one another for 6 years, Jan and David Levinson married. After playing a small role in a 1981 TV movie, This House Possessed, Jan retired from acting. Most sources indicated she stayed retired, but IMDb does list her as having played a small part in the 1988 TV movie, Miracle at Beekman's Place. Jan and David Levinson remained married until his death in 2019. Jan passed away just last month, on October the 7th, 2021, at the age of 88. She may have appeared in Mayberry only once, but it was a truly memorable role. That's it for this week. As always, thanks for listening. And remember to take care of yourself, take care of others, and take Andy's advice and go out there and act like somebody.
Thank you, Randy. Wow, he always does such great reports. If you want to make sure that you don't miss out on any of the fun that Randy's having around Mayberry, send him an email at turnersgrade@gmail.com. turnersgrade@gmail.com, and he'll make sure you don't miss out on any of the fun. Folks, I hope you have enjoyed yourself. This is always a lot of fun for me to just go through and check out all the fun stuff that Jim Clark has gathered and put together as he puts together issues of the eBullet. I did not cover everything. If you want to get all the information, there's a link in our show notes for this issue. It's the November 2021 edition of the eBullet. You can go to imayberry.com. The eBullet link is right there on the top of the page. It'll take you right to the eBullet, and you could subscribe. And so you'll get an email anytime a new issue of the eBullet comes out, and you'll get to read it before I review it here on the podcast. So definitely encourage you again to do that and to go over and check it out. There's a lot of neat pictures in the eBullet as well. A lot of neat photos that you would enjoy. So folks, it is that time to head out of here. I want to thank everybody for showing up tonight. I would love to hear from you. You can give me a call at 888-684-8415, or you can email me at floyd@imayberry.com. I'd love to hear from you. I always enjoy hearing from fellow fans of the Andy Griffith Show. Head out there and get you a book to read, get your Christmas presents, start thinking about getting those just so they get to you on time. I realize it's early for Christmas, but if you're going to order stuff online, make sure you're getting it done pretty soon here. And until next time, everybody, have a great Mayberry week, and we'll see you right here on Two Chairs. Good night, everybody.